and welcome. Today, we're going to explore an important topic in international trade, the access requirement for exporting. In this video, we will talk about the industry of infant formula and how they can enter the Peruvian market. Specifically, we will focus on Mead Johnson, a global leader in infant nutrition. But first, let's get to know a little bit of this industry. Well, infant formula products are highly regulated due to its crucial role in child health and development. So, in order to ensure safety and quality, countries enforce strict import regulations, labeling standards, and market entry conditions. For companies like Mead Johnson, understanding and complying with this requirement is essential, not only for gaining access to new markets, but also for building consumer trust and ensuring long-term success. In this video, we will break down the key access requirements from regulatory approvals and sanitary registrations to labeling compliance and distribution strategies. By the end, we'll have a clear picture of the challenges and opportunities in exporting infant formula to Peru. So let's get started.
Now, let's talk about the main objective of this research. There are identify the key regulatory requirements for Mead Johnson to commercialize its infant formula products in Peru, focusing on safety, quality, and nutritional composition standards. The second objective is analyze the relevant standards and accreditation bodies governing the infant formula industry, particularly those regulating import products in Peru. And the third one, and the last one, is provide strategy recommendations on how Mead Johnson can streamline its regulatory approvals and position its products competitively within the Peruvian market. By understanding these regulatory barriers and accreditation process, Mead Johnson's can develop an efficient market entry strategy and ensures compliance with Peruvian food safety laws. So about like a review, international regulations on infant formula are designed to protect infant health and ensure product safety. The Codex Alimentarius Commission, established by the FAO and the WHO, sets global standards for infant formula covering nutritional composition, microbiological safety, and labeling according to the Codex Alimentarius in 2023. These standards serve as a reference for many national food regulations, including those in Peru here. In the United States, Mead Johnson's follow the FDA Infant Formula Act, which requires pre-market notification, extensive safety testing, and ingredient verification before products can be sold, according to the FDA report in 2023. Similarly, in Mexico, the COFEPRIS, that in Spanish are Comisión Federal para la Protección contra Riesgos Sanitarios, ensures compliance with sanitary regulations and nutritional standards for infant formula before export. So now let's talk about here in Peru. Peru enforces strict infant formula regulations through DIGESA, requiring pre-market product registration with document proof and compliance with Peru food safety laws. The second one is the nutritional composition validation to ensure the formula meets essential dietary requirements for infants. And finally, labeling standards that must be printed in Spanish, because this is the language that Peruvian people use, and include detailed nutrient information, usage instruction, and allergen warnings, according to the Independent Assessment Report in 2022.
When it comes to international trade, one of the biggest challenges companies face is meeting access requirements. But what exactly does this mean and why is it so important? Well, access requirements refer to the regulatory, safety, and market conditions that a product must meet before it can be legally sold in a new country. These requirements are not just bureaucratic hurdles, they serve a crucial purpose. They ensure that consumers receive safe and high-quality products and also protect public health and create fair competition in the market. For a sensitive industry like infant formula, these regulations are even more critical because they directly impact the health and nutrition of infants and young children. Now that we know that importance, let's look at the specific access requirements for exporting infant formula to Peru. Regulatory requirements involve compliance with government laws, certifications, and health regulations necessary to enter the market. These requirements include, first, sanitary registration. In this case, Mead Johnson must obtain a sanitary registration from Peru's General Directorate of Environmental Health, DIGESA, before marketing infant formula products. This involves submitting a sworn application, a laboratory test results, and a certificate of free sale and origin. When it comes to import documentation, the importer must present documents such as the Customs Merchandise Declaration, in this case is DAM, commercial invoices, and shipping documents to Peru's National Customs and Tax Administration, that is SUNAT. Regarding labeling regulations, infant formulas must comply with Peru food labeling laws, requiring labels in Spanish with nutritional information, warnings, and product expiration dates. In addition to approval, products must meet strict quality and safety standards. In Peru, companies must follow global food safety guidelines, including the Codex Alimentarius standards, as well as national regulations set by SENASA and DIGESA. To guarantee safe production, good manufacturing practices certifications is mandatory. But beyond these certifications, additional food safety standards apply, such as ISO 22000, which is a global food safety management system that prevents contamination from raw materials to distribution, and lastly, the hazard analysis and critical control points, which gives a system that identifies and controls potential hazards to keep infant formula safe from harmful bacteria and toxins.
In Mead Johnson and Reckitt. Mead Johnson Nutrition, part of the Reckitt Group, is a leading company in the infant nutrition industry, with products like Enfamil, Nutrimigen, and Enfagrow. Since these products are intended for one of the most vulnerable populations, infants and young children, their production, storage, and distribution must comply with strict quality and safety regulations. Regulatory compliance is not just a legal requirement, but a key strategy for ensuring trust and maintaining competitiveness in the global market. In the infant nutrition industry, any deviation in product quality can have severe consequences, from legal sanctions to health risks for consumers. That's why Mead Johnson has integrated a robust system of international standards, certifications, and audits to ensure compliance with best practices at every stage of the supply chain. To guarantee product safety and quality, they operate under globally recognized regulatory frameworks. The most relevant ones include ISO 9001 ensures that every batch produced adheres to rigorous specifications. It also optimizes internal processes to prevent errors or contamination, guaranteeing consistency and reliability in production. ISO 14001 focuses on environmental management, addressing resource utilization such as water, packaging, and transportation. By obtaining this certification, a company demonstrates its commitment to sustainable practices, reducing its environmental impact while maintaining efficient operations. ISO 45001 pertains to occupational health and safety, a critical aspect of formula manufacturing that involves industrial environments and specialized storage. This certification ensures that workers operate in safe conditions, following strict health protocols to prevent workplace hazards. HACCP is an essential system in the food industry. It identifies and mitigates biological, chemical, and physical risks during production, preventing contamination and ensuring consumer safety. By implementing HACCP, companies can maintain the highest standards of food safety, reinforcing trust in their products. While Reckitt operates under international standards, it must also comply with local regulations in every country where it sells its products. For example, in Peru, Mead Johnson must comply with regulations set by DIGESA. This entity regulates labeling, sanitary registration, and import specifications for infant nutrition products. Peru has stricter labeling requirements than other countries, leading Mead Johnson to implement additional label reconditioning processes in the country before distribution. In Colombia, although strict regulations are also enforced by INVIMA, labeling requirements are less restrictive than in Peru. However, quality control at customs is rigorous, requiring detailed documentation on product traceability.
For Mead Johnson to import products from USA and Mexico into the Peruvian market is must comply with regulations set by several competent authorities in Peru below as the key entities involved in many requirements. The competent authorities in Peru are DIGESA, the mandatory sanitary registration for commercializing infant formulas and nutrition products, regulates the safety, labeling, and composition of the import food products, and also requires certification of good manufacturing practices and laboratory analysis. Then the DIGEMIT regulates products with therapeutic or pharmaceutical, requires studies of safety, efficacy, and quality for nutritional supplements with active ingredients. Also in the copy that monitoring, advertising, and labeling to prevent misleading claims and protect consumer rights and regulate fair competition in the market. Finally, SUNAT, that controls the importation and custom clearance of products from USA and Mexico, requires proper custom documentation including certificate of origin, commercial invoice and shipping documents, and the approved sanitary regulation from DIGESA or DIGEMIT. Finally, we have SENASA that oversees products containing animal or plant-based ingredients and may require additional health certification if the products contain dairy derivatives and components. Final consideration: the USA and Mexico have free trade agreements with Peru, which may facilitate the imports with tariff benefits. The sanitary registration process may take between 3 or 6 months, depending on the DIGESA or DIGEMIT evaluation. Working with a local importer or distribution familiar with the Peruvian regulation is highly recommended to external market entry.
So, as we can see here in the picture of the DIGESA announcement, Nutramigen formula from the USA voluntarily withdraw the products of the market due to a possibility of contamination with Conobacter sakazaki, identified in a product test outside the United States. This action was taken as a precautionary measure to ensure the safety of the consumer, particularly infants, who are highly vulnerable to such contaminants. The proactive approach highlights the company's commitment to preventive safety and regulatory compliance. A Mead Johnson approach to managing this issue with DIGESA appears proactive and responsible, and this is some reasons why our group think this is actually true. The first one is because they are a voluntary recall. The fact that the company initiated with a withdrawal rather than being forced by authority indicates transparency and commitment to consumer safety. Second, preventive action. The recall was labeled as preventive, meaning there may not have been actual health incident report, but the company decided to act before any potential risk escalate. Third, the coordination with DIGESA. Mead Johnson is working with DIGESA, ensuring regulatory compliance and demonstrating good corporate responsibility. And finally, the public communication. By issuing a clear and formal communication, the company maintains consumer trust and prevents. This is a case study that we can see that Mead Johnson is committed with all the infant audience. And also this announcement you can search in the public web, and it's not difficult to find it. Let's talk about the findings and recommendations. Our research reveals that Peru has some of the most stringent regulations for infant formula in Latin America. DIGESA, the country health authority, enforces a strict pre-market approval, requiring through product testing, certification, and compliance with food safety laws. Additionally, Peru follows global standards like Codex Alimentarius, ISO 22,000 and HACCP, ensuring formal equality and safety. Labeling is another major hurdle. All packing must be in Spanish, include clear nutritional information, and comply with advertising restrictions that prohibit misleading health claims. This means Mead Johnson must carefully adapt its branding to meet Peruvian laws. Lastly, the import process adds complexity to the whole value chain. There are tariff, registration fees, and logistical challenges that could delay market entry if not properly managed. So how can Mead Johnson overcome this challenge? The recommendations we made, first, they should work with local regulatory consultants who specialize in Peruvian food safety laws. This will help streamline the approval process and avoid costly delays. Second, they must adapt labeling and marketing to fully comply with the DIGESA requirements. This includes ensuring all packing in Spanish, follow breastfeeding promotion guidelines, and avoid restricted claims. Third, obtaining ISO 22,000 and HACCP certification will not only ensure faster approval, but also enhance brand trust and marketing positioning. And finally, partnering with Peruvian distributors and retailers can help navigate the import process, reduce cost, and ensure smoother market entry. So, in conclusion, Peru presents a promising opportunity, but success depends on strategy planning and strict compliance. By aligning with global food safety standards, adapting to local regulations, and securing the right partnership, Mead Johnson can establish a strong and sustainable presence in Peru market. Thank you.